Yeah. Chef back in motion, I got that antidote. Sometimes you gotta love them from distance, that's how you handle smoke. 34 gram, I remember I used to handle coke. Now I handle minutes for Abba, go where the father go. Lyrically, they calling me Biggie like Izzy Man to go. Jumping out the ceiling, I'm feeling like girl man to go. Should be doing 30 to life, chasing banana boats. But now I'm in the body of Christ, I mean I gotta boast. Feeling like the bishop, they put me on the iron horse. Pressure bust pipes, that's only when you apply force. How you talk to me about winning in case of vibe loss? Niggas never had, but they can tell you where buying costs. Chef about to run it again. That's a running back. My homes cost about 1.5. That's a quarterback. Headed to New York on a jet. He's saying Roger that. No offense, nickel it down, but I'ma get a sack. Peace to Chris Harris. Still keep the strap on me, never creep callous. I got that from the parish. When Jews die young, but their memories never perish. The Our Father prayers don't make it past our debtors. I try to tell my brothers the sheep and the shepherds. That's why you see the chef with the thieves and the lepers. Fresh with the fringes of Rolly, a gold necklace. We not them, so everywhere we go, they respect us. I check cheddar like a food inspector. How niggas want beef but can't get their brand up. How niggas want fades and can't pay for haircuts. They want to clean cribs and can't make their beds up. That's why I never answer when they calling the chef out. They mad cause the people telling me I'm the best out. The devil is a lie, on the way, I'm next out. To get your spirit right, you don't want to be left out. Nah, you don't want to be left out. Get your spirit right, you don't want to be left out. He made me the greatest so I could wake the tribes. He made you a hater cause you got hate inside. Before every fall, they never shake their pride. I can tell you now, Israel looking you in your eyes. How your man told me to get him, how can I let him go? If I ever need him, I know that he let his llama blow. Waking up my people, I promise I let the drama go. Cause I don't wanna be in the fire when there's our time to go. Any given moment, that final trumpet gon' finally blow. Sky crack, vision, got how much he gon' finally show. Black skin, fire and eye, a different kind of glow. Trying to be the 1/3, I know the other two gotta go. Other two know they gotta go.
Hey, Chef, get these niggas, man. These niggas mad cause we switched from being wicked to start doing things that's holy, man. These niggas mad because we not under Esau thumb no more, man. We know we the Israelites, we God told the people, man. Get these niggas, man. Ain't I right behind you? I'm back to my man Pray, man. All praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, behind Kim Yahweh, y'all. Get these niggas, Chef.
Oh man, that was a mighty. That was Road to Chef. All praise to the Most High. Shalom. We are Yahweh's camp, and this is War Zone Wednesdays. There's your brother Mahar.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This your part of Gadite.
And we got
Shalom, it's my arm. Shalom.
That's our beloved captain. We know he got a little busy time going on in the background, but we're gonna push through this. So, Shalom, Israel. Like I said before, welcome to War Zone Wednesdays. This is gonna be kind of a freestyle kind of night. Like it says in the title, you know, we're gonna go over a little bit of current events. We're gonna go over a little bit of Esau's debauchery. We're gonna go over, you know, a little bit of everything, right? So here's I found this really crazy article, and we're gonna actually go into that tonight. But I want to pull this article up real quick, and this just shows you just more of the wicked, right? And it's an NYC firefighter stole credit cards off of a dead man just so he can buy some damn AirPods. This right here is a perfect example of that devil, right? That we call Esau, right? Why would you do that? You're going to steal credit cards off of a dead man? It's madness. But one of the main articles I actually wanted to go into, because Esau is you know, they doing their slick ways and doing a lot of their slick stuff. But this one right here I found today, It's called Surprising Things That Are Forbidden by the Bible, right? So you know Esau, and you know how he does things covertly, right? He tries to do things under the table, right? He always lets you know what he does, right? You got this war going on in Ukraine with Russia and Ukraine. You have also another thing. There was a Paris fire, all praises, due to a gas explosion. I think it said about 40 people were so far injured. And I pray it's all Esau. Right? Hey, Princess Judea, Shalom. So, like I said, dozens injured in central Paris after a gas explosion. Hey, the Lord is visiting. The Lord is literally visiting the earth, right? But let's get into this article, the surprising things forbidden by the Bible. It's a very interesting read, right? And I just want to go into it. I saw a bunch of misconceptions that Christianity pushes on our people, right? And this article sort of pushes those same inconsistencies of the scriptures, right? So let's go into this. Let's see. Let's read this. Surprising things forbidden by the Bible. Many of us are familiar with the 10 Commandments. Look, right off the bat, there are more than 10 commandments. Right? Hey, King Shapar, grab me 1 Corinthians 6, and then we're gonna start at verse 9. And I'll grab Zephaniah 1. Let me get this up here. Let's see, we go 1 Corinthians 6. We'll do verse 9. Right. So before we start in this precept, we all know that there are more than 10 commandments, right? Being a homosexual, that's not in the 10 commandments, but we know based on this precept we're about to get into that homosexuality is a deadly sin, right? So let's start off with that 1 Corinthians 6, and we'll start at 9 and we'll go to 10.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9, and it reads, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind."
Salakia, real quick, right there, nor effeminate, right? We all know that these fruity booties, as I like to call them, the effeminacy is just running rampant all through their community, right? But this is just one of the things that you're not going to find in the 10 Commandments, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 10, "Nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God."
Hey, the Wadak. So, drunkards, right? That's not a part of the 10 Commandments. Revilers, that's not a part of the 10 Commandments. Extortioners, that's definitely not a part of the 10 Commandments, right? If you go into what the Christian church will tell you, they'll tell you tithing is a commandment you got to keep. But yet that isn't in itself one of the 10 Commandments. So what's going on here, right? So let me pull up Zephaniah 1, and we'll do verse 8. right? And it says, and it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel. Right? So clearly we know that the Lord has a problem with people wearing strange apparel. And what would strange apparel be? Well, let's go to let's go to let's pull it up. Where is it? Give me 1 second. Am I having a brain fart? Where is and the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
Hey, Salakia, that's Deuteronomy 22:5.
That's what I thought.
Come, all praises.
Hey, Dawada. There it is. Right here. Deuteronomy 22:5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. So that's another one that's not on the 10 Commandments, but yet and still it's an abomination, right? And the Lord said that he's going to be doing away with all the abominations, right? So let's go back to that article, Salakia. Let's see. God told Moses for humankind. Oh man, that's another one. Let's see. Hey, Shapar, grab me Exodus 3, and we're going to start at verse 1, and we're going to read down to 10, and then I'll grab Exodus 24 and 12. Baba Kasha.
All praises. You ready for it, King?
Come on.
All right. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 1. And it reads, Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angels of Yahweh appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed.
Now, we all know where this story is going, right? This is the Most High coming to Moses, right? Let's actually skip down to 6, and we'll pick it up at 6.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 6. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows.
You can stop right there, King. So, based on the precept, right? Yahweh heard the affliction of his people, right? Let's go to verse 9.
This is Exodus chapter 3, verse 9. Now, therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them.
There it is. So who are God's people? The children of Israel, right? So what's about to happen is the Lord's going to remember the covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he made it with the children of Israel, right? Because Jacob wrestled an angel and he was renamed to Israel. So let's read verse 10.
This Exodus chapter 3, verse 10. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses said unto God, who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt?
So, like we just read, God wasn't dealing with the whole earth as this article says. God told Moses for humankind. No, God told the children of Israel not to steal, kill, commit adultery, respect their parents, right? But these are just simple points that we can make that can easily debunk these mad articles. Shalom, Sister Hannah. Let's see what else. So, this article actually has about 28 slides that it does, but we're gonna simply go through a few of them just to sort of debunk this entire article, right? So first, again, there's more than 10 commandments, right? God wasn't speaking to all humankind. He was only speaking to the children of Israel. Okay. Let's go to the first slide and we'll see what this is talking about. Let's see. Sex outside of marriage. Perhaps not the most surprising item on this list, but one that needs to be mentioned nonetheless. 1 Corinthians 7, 1-5 is pretty clear when it says that each man should have sexual relations with his own wife and each woman with her own husband. The passage actually encouraged the couple to not deprive each other from sex so that they won't be tempted by Satan. Cool story, bro. Okay. First we're gonna start off with Jake always loved some Esau. And then it's so funny because when I was looking at this article earlier, this was the same exact advertisement that was on here before. So this just shows you that Esau is trying to encourage that interracial relationships, right? He's trying to push our people to intermingle with their people. And that the Most High, that's actually a commandment, not to have wives of the other nations, right? Or husbands for that matter. And we can see that Whoopi's in sin, but we're talking about a woman with no eyebrows, so it is what it is, but whatever. But let's go into this. Let's dive into this. Let's see what marriage was supposed to be based upon the scriptures, and let's see what the Most High wants. Shapar, grab me Genesis. We're gonna do 2, and we'll start at verse 21. Baba Kusha.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 21. And Yahweh, God, caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Yahweh God had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
So like we see in the precept, right? Yahweh got the woman from the man, right? We can go into this entire. Well, we'll go into the next verse also. You could stop at 24 actually, but keep going.
Verse 23. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. And she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh."
And you could stop right there. So, so right there, we can see that the Most High intended everything to be the way He made it. Right? He made it Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Right? This world will have you believe that Adam and Steve is an okay thing, which it's not. But back to marriage, right? This is the way that the Most High intended it to be: one woman, or should I say, a woman and a man, right? Um, let's keep going. We're gonna go to. We're gonna get a second witness on this. We're gonna go to Matthew 19, and we'll start at 4, and we'll go to verse 6. Let's pull that up.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 4.
And this is Yahweh Shai speaking here. Okay, so let's go ahead.
Verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? And said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
All right, keep going.
Verse 6. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder.
So this is a second witness. This is Yahweh Shai saying exactly what his father said, right? That a man is going to leave his mother and father, or father and mother, and he's going to cleave unto his wife, and they're going to become one flesh. We can go into 7 and 8, but actually we're going to save that for another time. Let's go into Genesis 30, and we'll start at verse 26.
Just the book of Genesis, chapter 30, verse 26. And it reads, Give me my wives and
My what?
Give me my wives
okay.
And my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee.
So here's an this is actually going into Jacob, right? He had to serve Laban, and he served for Salakia, if I remember correctly, it's Leah that he wanted, but he was given Rachel. Am I saying that right, King? Rachel. Yeah, that's right. Salakia. Give me 1 second. Well, one thing that I was trying to illustrate was the fact that it definitely isn't just Salakia. I did it opposite. he wanted Rachel, but got Leah, and then got Rachel later. But this is one thing to illustrate that that you have an option to have another wife, right? But we're going to go into that. But we're going to keep going into this. Let's see. We're going to go into Deuteronomy. Let's see. I'm going to go into 21, verse 15. Salakia. Computer is deciding to mess up right now. Yeah, he wanted late Rachel and was given Leah.
Salaki, I'm just getting back. What y'all got going on right now? What y'all talking about?
We just going into I was trying to illustrate. So we're going over an article, right? And the topic was, misconception, literally surprising things. Esau is trying to come out with an article, surprising things forbidden by the Bible, right? So,
Oh boy.
like, yeah, right. So we're up to sex outside of marriage. And the point that I was trying to illustrate was that, and I was going to get to it, was sex is marriage, right? And the fact how, Esau pushes the monogamous agenda, which is no problem, right? If a brother wants to just have one wife, that's fine. But there is an option to have more than one wife, right? But just to give sort of the facts of the scriptures. So that's pretty much it. I'm over here having some technical difficulties.
Hey, real quick, I think it's so also, right, you know, the Old Testament, New Testament, a lot of the Christians will say essentially the New Testament, I'm multitasking here, Salakia. The New Testament is different, the Old Testament, and you know, we teach it's one and the same, right? The Old Testament, New Testament. So they'll tell you, oh yeah, the multiple wives or polygyny is lawful under the Old Covenant or Old Testament. But Paul said this and Paul said that, right? And what's funny is, of course, we understand how Paul's letters were written, how Paul's letters were made for a certain group of people that was dealing with conversion and coming into the truth, or some that already had the law but didn't have Yahweh Shai, they didn't have Christ. So Paul was writing to people that knew these laws or whatnot. So of course, the law on polygyny isn't changed, right? A man can have as many wives um, as he sees fit. Of course, there's wisdom behind all that. That's what Paul was saying. Use wisdom. So if you're taking care of a church, right, you just my suggestion for you is to have one right. Like Paul's letters aren't law. Christian church will tell you, they'll try to, you know, well, Paul said this and Paul said that. But if brothers is available, I'm gonna show you where Yahweh Shai was talking about polygyny in a roundabout way. Give me Matthew 25. Let's get Matthew 25. I want to go to the New Testament on this because a lot of times our Christian brothers and sisters will stick only to the New Testament as if that's like the only end all be all. And of course, we're able to confound Christians through the prophecies, through the what you would say the Nabiya or the prophets, the Nabim, which is the prophecies, and they don't touch prophecy. right? Which is why they're always confounded on certain things like that. So can somebody get that Matthew?
I got it right here.
All praises. You want to read it, King?
Con. The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins.
How many virgins?
10 virgins.
So 10, the kingdom of heaven. This is red letter. What Christ is saying, the kingdom of heaven is
Uh-oh.
applied by 10, right? We understand what Hamashiach is explaining. 10 pure, undefiled, untouched women, right? Read on.
Which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
To meet the bridegroom, and the bridegroom is Yahushua, right? Read on.
Con. And 5 of them were wise.
How many were wise?
5 were wise.
It says 5 of those 10 were wise. Come on.
And 5 were foolish.
And 5 were foolish. All right, read on.
They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
So the foolish ones didn't do the work, right? They were fit. They qualified for the kingdom of heaven. Now, of course, this is going into the work you do or you don't do, and how the foolish virgins were the ones that didn't produce or didn't labor, right? Read verse 3.
They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
Right. So they, of course, we understand that they didn't have the spirit on them, and they didn't want the spirit, right? They just kind of just gave it away. But these were, again, 10 virgins that qualified for the kingdom of heaven. The question is, if polygyny or having more than one wife, right, was a quote unquote bad thing, why is Christ comparing polygyny to the kingdom of heaven? Right. And it was not like the kingdom of heaven is like a man with one wife. Even sweet Jesus, a lot of our people, right, they cleave to the words of Christ. They didn't even catch this, how he compared the kingdom of heaven to a man marrying 10 virgins, and he only got 5 of those 10. But all in all, you understand what Christ is not condemning. Christ is not bad mouthing a man with multiple wives. He's actually comparing the kingdom of heaven to that, right? And I think a lot of our people don't get it when we talk about that. And I think, and I was hearing a little bit, Ephraim, and that was beautiful you put it, where we don't push it on brothers. There is a law. There is a law where if you got brothers living together and he doesn't have children, the brother that is his kin has to, be a husband to the deceased brother. That's a law.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if we really want to get down to it, we don't push it on brothers. We don't push it on the sisters. We just so happen to see this in the article. So this is not even a part of the lesson. Like, we're not like, if you watch all of our videos, if y'all are tuning in, if you watch all of our videos, you rarely hear us go into polygyny. Right? We go into obedience to the law. We go into a lot of these things that go into salvation. Polygyny is not a salvation topic. However, because of this article, we have to iron out all the bullshit that Esau is trying to put on our people. And ultimately, this goes back to the white man's agenda, because the so-called white man, right? He's naturally monogamous, right? That's his MO, and he pushes that on people. So he'll take that understanding and make it for all nations. But all the Eastern cultures and all the cultures of Israel, past, present, right? You see a polygynous lifestyle, which goes into nation building. I didn't want to get too into that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're doing a good job. And if you at home and you like, why they going into this? Again, this is all because of the article that was brought out. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be more things we can go into in this article.
Absolutely.
But I definitely want to show.
There's 28, but I only did a few. So.
And I definitely want to show that where Christ was comparing polygyny or likening polygyny to the kingdom of heaven. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just in its own something to consider.
Right.
I'm a yield on that.
Con. Hey, the Water King. So another one that I was actually going to bring up was Genesis 24, 67, which is one of my favorites, right? It just shows how sex is marriage, right? And I'll read it. It's Genesis 24, 67. It says, and Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. There was no wedding ceremony. There was no flower girl. There was no flower. None of that, right? His proposed rib uh, literally got off her horse, and I'm just summarizing it. He took her into the tent, handled business, came out, and this is now my wife, right? So this also goes into our people and the way that we do, or our people do, with their lifestyle, right? They don't believe that the person that I lay with is the person that becomes my wife or my husband. Why? Because it wasn't built into us. It wasn't taught to us, right? Because this society is completely, excuse the French, is ass backwards, right? We have to go to a registrar office or to city hall, right, and apply for a license. Now, who is Esau to be telling me or any of us who we can or cannot be with, right? And then we have to ask permission to marry our significant other. It just doesn't make sense, right? And this whole entire marriage scheme that Esau has cooking in the background under everybody's noses is literally just a money making scheme, right? You know, we see brothers and sisters that'll have $10,000, $20,000 weddings, right? And where's that all that money going to? Is going to Esau, right? I mean, marriage license, fees, all of this stuff. Now think about if every single one of our brothers and sisters did that, you know, how much money goes into his pocket, right? Whereas if they just read the scriptures and see that if you laid with a woman, she is now your wife according to the Most High, you know, it would skip a lot of confusion, right? But another aspect to this is that this should be a time where you should be uh, getting to know who you want as your prospective wife, right? It's not, oh, I meet you and a month later, you know, we're in the sack. It shouldn't be like that, right? You need to prove this person both, right? Um, and that's something that our people just don't do, right? You have our women that go from rod to rod. You have our men that go from woman to woman, and it's just it's a whole bunch of adultery, right? So you know, think about it like this: it's uh, you know, say you're courting a woman, right? But she already slept with some dude like 2 weeks ago, right? So now you're going to sleep with her, and then now you're going to cause adultery on yourself, and you're going to cause the sin of adultery on her, right? It just it's just like a never-ending circle. Um, but we're gonna skip to the next one though.
Hey, Salakia, before you skip on, can I just add something to that, King?
Absolutely, bring it out.
Oh, yeah, all praises. So, y'all brothers both spoke real mighty in that topic, as far as polygamy and one wife and multiple wives. And something that we were meditating on a while back was you have to put that, what Paul's writing about and what he's talking about, you have to put that in the proper context.
Mm-hmm.
We know during that time, a lot of our people were living like Gentiles. We were going through the Roman captivity. We were going through the Greek captivity. And basically, our people were living like Gentiles. They were living like the heathen. and the particular place they were living at too has a lot to do with it, because they were living like Romans and like Greeks, and the particularly like Antioch, Corinth, places like that, our people were living like the Greeks, so they were doing a lot of abominable things. They were doing a lot of fornicating, and they weren't. It's almost like I was meditating on today. Actually, they were almost living similar to how our people live today, where just I'm gonna just say it plain and simple, man. It was like a orgy fest. You know what I mean? It was
Pretty
like,
much.
yeah, I mean, like a lot of our people today, it's like, well, I'm just living to have fun. I'm gonna jump
Right.
person to person. So what Paul's telling you, he's not saying that a man is only supposed to have one wife, right? Which that's all simple and good too. But what he's saying is, if you're going to do these things to be married, you know what I'm saying? He's not teaching against the law there, right? Paul's staying in the law, but what he's saying is, don't walk around like this is some big orgy fest, right? Find you a woman, marry her. You know what I mean? If a man has more wives, it is what it is, whatever. But don't be participating in these Roman and these Greek philosophies of just going to these parties, or jumping around with unproven women. And I just wanted to put a little bit of context on that, because if you're reading that from like a so-called Christian mind state, it'll have you all thrown off. The white man's he's polluted our people's thoughts with his false doctrine. But Paul's just letting you know, man, don't participate in these damn orgy fests that these Roman and these Greeks are putting on our people. And I yield on that, King.
Hey, that's a beautiful point. And that goes similar to what we just finished talking about, right? We got women jumping from man to man to man. We got men jumping from women to women to women, right? And it pollutes everything, right? And one of the precepts that the Most High says is that that truth won't reside in a body subject to sin, right? So if you're already in sin, then you're not going to be able to understand what he's trying to tell you, right? You have to flee from sin in order to understand this truth. But let me go on into the next one, because we spent way too much time on this. It wasn't even supposed to be that long. My bad. Let's go to the next one. Self-love. Let's see. While having sex with our spouse is fine, doing so on our own is not advocated by the Bible. 1 Corinthians 6:18 reads, "Every other sin a person commits." Now, mind you, this is actually, I believe they're reading out of the NIV. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. Now, when you first come into this truth, right? I don't know about the other brothers, but that is probably one of the main sins that we commit, that we are told to abstain from, right? Is choking the chicken, right? Having dates with Pamela Henderson, right? These are the things that we're supposed to stop immediately, right? Because this is an immoral act, right? So I think to a certain extent, I agree with this, right? I don't think we really need to go too much into this. Hey, it seems right to me. What do you think, Shapar?
Khan, all praises. I think you're on the money with that one, King.
Okay, Khan. So we're gonna go to the next one. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. Let's see the next one. Swearing. Oh man, one of my favorites. Man. The Bible stresses that we should pay attention to the words we profess. Be grateful and don't swear seems to be the way to go according to the Bible. Nor should there be obscenity, foolish talk, or coarse joking, which are out of place, but rather thanksgiving reads Ephesians 5:4. Now let's pull up Ephesians 5:4 and see what it says in the King James Version. Because the KJV is probably one of the closest thing, word for word, to the Hebrew and the Greek. Let's see. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. Yeah, I don't really see too much in here about cursing or anything like that. But actually, I want to bring out a couple of precepts myself. Some of my favorites. Hey, King, can you grab me 2 Corinthians? We'll go to 11 and 6. King Kazak, welcome to the floor. Yahbashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua Barakatah.
Hey, man, what's going on with you?
I'm here, King. I'm here.
Hey,
Been doing some moving.
Hey, I'm still waiting on that phone call.
Con.
We're gonna get this Exodus Moving Company up and about.
That's right. Con.
Right.
If you need a reader, I'm here too, King.
Hey, Thawada, can you grab me John 2 and 15?
Con.
Okay, Khan. Thawada. Let's see. 2 Corinthians 11 and 6. Whenever you're ready, King.
Con, all praises. This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 6. But though I be rude in speech, yet...
But though I be rude, Salakia. But though I be rude in speech, right? Keep going.
But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things.
Right, you can stop there. So, though I be rude in speech, one of the craziest things that we hear, right, when we're out there, trying to edify our people or trying to bring it out, is, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're cursing. I can't listen to you." Now, all I said was maybe "damn" or somebody else said, "ass" or something like ass is in the Bible, right? I didn't know if anybody knew that. I'm sure people know that. But ass is in the Bible. But yet our people are so simple that something as little as that can take them away from the scriptures that they're meant to hear, right? And they have no tough skin. They have tough skin when it comes to other things, but when it comes to cursing, which really isn't a curse, right? Foul language, cool. Cursing, I'm not too sure. Let's get a few more on that, and then I'm gonna show you what a real curse is. King Kazak.
Con. It's the book of St. John, chapter 2, and verse 15. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables.
Okay, so who this is talking about right here? This is talking about Yahweh Shai. He literally made a bunch of small cords, switches, and he whipped everybody's ass. Excuse my French. He whipped everybody's ass outside of the temple because they were doing in the temple what they weren't supposed to be. So if people are so worried about foul language, and don't realize that our Savior probably did worse things than saying a bad word. I mean, you got something to think about there. Let me get Matthew 12, verse 34. And King Kazak, let me get Matthew 23, and we'll start at verse 33.
Oh, praise. Hey, Salakia, man, that's a spirit, King, because that 2 Corinthians 11:6. I was meditating on that when you started bringing up the topic, and also while you were going in, I was looking at that Matthew's 12 and I believe it's Matthew's 12 and 34. Matthew's 23 and 33. So it's almost like we're moving in the same spirit here.
Hey, all praises.
Something I wanted to add too, man, is we call it cursing today, but like cursing's a little bit different than when you're dealing with profanity or speaking profane. So people got to get a understanding of that.
Right, and I'm gonna get into that too because I got that lined up right here. That's definitely the spirit.
All praises. Yeah, I'm ready for that precept whenever you are. All praises. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 34, and it reads, "O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh."
Right there. So let's stop right there. So, "O generation of vipers," right? Back in the day, you call somebody a viper, those are fighting words. He called the Pharisees, he called the Sadducees all vipers to their faces, right? He bunched up the small cords, whipped them right out of the temple. Like, come on now. I mean, our Savior literally did almost the same thing that we're doing now, right? Let me get that 23:33, Baba Kasha.
Khan, this is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 33. "Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell?"
There it is. Out of Christ's own mouth. "Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers." These are literally fighting words back then, right? And he's just out. There's no fear in this man's heart, right? He's the Most High's son. There is literally no fear. And he's walking up to them and essentially talking mess to their faces, right? Look at what the brother Yashua brought up, right? This was one sister that we were dealing with on Glenwood. She was smoking Black and Milds. She was halfway drunk, walking up and down Glenwood almost naked, right? Like you could see the yams and everything. We were telling her to put them cheeks away, all the good stuff. And because we said damn, she didn't have time to hear what we were saying, right? This is the sensitivity of our people, right? Was it Dave Chappelle? Shalakia, who made I'm sorry, Chris Rock, who made selective outrage. Right, our people definitely have a lot of selective outrage. Go ahead, King.
Nah, you're good. I just wanted to add on to your point.
Hey, go ahead, please.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Nah, you're good.
Yeah, the Christian doctrine, man. This Catholic Christian doctrine, it's polluted our people's way of thinking, man.
Absolutely.
I was talking to a brother not too long ago. A lot of this stuff that we're going into is based on the Christian doctrine. And I was talking to a brother about something similar to this, and it was just going into wine. And I was like, a lot of you Christians say that, you can't drink wine. It's a sin. But I told him there's no sin in drinking wine. You're not supposed to be drunk, but you can drink wine a little bit. Mm-hmm. This dude had the nerve to tell me, he was like, man, that wine that they were drinking in the Bible was non-fermented. It was non-alcoholic.
What the hell?
And I was like, brother, you telling on yourself. You telling that you don't read the scriptures. You ain't read. Why would it tell you not to be drunk, right? Why would it tell you that wine makes the heart merry? And all the stories of men getting drunk in the scriptures, like Noah and people like that. Like, what are you talking about, man? Where do you get these doctrines from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they make we have we have some friends that, I mean, they won't wear jewelry. They like, I'm like, they won't wear jewelry. They won't drink on the Shabbat. Like the stuff that they do is just like, what command? Like where is this in Scripture, right? And then the scriptures that they bring up have nothing to do with what they're trying to accomplish. And it's just madness, some of the things that our people go through. Let's see where we at. That 20, did we bring out that 22, 20? Yeah, we brought that out. Okay, con. If the Lord didn't want us to have wine, I'm pretty sure he probably wouldn't have had it in the scriptures at all, or he would have made a commandment against it, right? I mean, our Savior, Yahweh Shai, he turned water into wine.
And the host of the wedding or the party, he said that men normally bring the stronger wine out in the beginning, and save the weaker for last. But all the wine was gone when Yahweh Shai brought that wine out. The guy was like, "Hey man, this is the strongest wine that we had all night. Like y'all been holding out on me." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
And my thing too is, if it wasn't wine, it'd have just been called grape juice, right? But come on, man.
Grape juice with a kick.
Yeah, it'd have been grape juice or Kool-Aid, man. This is, wine means a alcoholic beverage, man. I don't know where these Christians get their doctrine from.
But what I am going to do is I am going to show you what an actual curse is, right? Because our people are fooled beyond recognition, right? Let me show you what an actual curse is, right? We're going to go to Deuteronomy 28:15. We're going to start at, right? But it shall come to pass, one of our favorites, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh, thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses, right, shall come upon thee and overtake thee. This is a curse, being cursed in the city, right? That's a curse. When you look in every city, right? What are our people doing? Nothing. They are literally doing nothing. At least nothing that the Most High approves of, right? I mean, we can keep going through all of these, right? The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, right? Let's see what else. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. That's verse 28, right? Verse 29, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. This is a curse, right? This is only a curse that our people are dealing with. Why? Because we decide we want to be disobedient children, right? So because we choose to be disobedient children, this is what the Lord has given to us. Curses, true curses, not saying ass or damn this or, no. This is a curse, right? Having a wife and another man lying with her, that is a curse, right? There's also one of the commandments is cursing your father and mother, right? That you deserve to die. That is a curse, right? When you're cursing somebody, right? Or if the Lord is cursing you, these are curses, right? Wishing somebody would crash into a cement wall while they're driving home from working. That's a curse, right? Saying ass or another profane word is not a curse, right? So, hey, what can I say? Let's go back to this article. I'm only going to do a few more and then I'm going to shut this down. It's going to be an early night tonight. Let's see. And look at that. What's the next slide? Cursing your parents. While we're on the topic of watching our mouths, let's not even think about cursing our parents, because according to Exodus 21:17, anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory, right? We were literally just talking about this. So I don't think we really need to go into this. Am I right, Shapar?
Con. All
Okay,
praises. Gotta honor your mother and father.
absolutely. That's one of the commandments.
Con. Ephesians
Right.
6, you know.
Mm-hmm. We can go to let's see, Exodus. Let me see. We'll go into Exodus 20 and verse 12. Right. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee. Right. Honoring your mother, honoring your father. Right. We're literally in the last days. You know. I think the last thing that you want to do is have a beef. Forget about with your mother or father, because that should be the last thing on your mind, right? Having a beef with your family, right? Like we're literally in the last days. Squash whatever beefs you have, right? Put them on the back burner, right? Forgive your brother, forgive your sister, forgive your family, right? And get it together. The Lord loves that. He loves when you are willing to make that happen with family, right? Squashing the beef, you know? So we'll skip that one. Let's see. What's the next one? Oh, my favorite. Men cutting their hair and shaving. Even before we even go through this, we already know this society, they promote the clean look, right? A freshly shaved face, a nice trimmed down haircut and all that good stuff. The trimmed down haircut, not a problem, right? The shaved face is definitely a problem. We're going to go into it. It says, it turns out men shouldn't shave their beards nor cut their hair, but then it might just be a round haircut that's forbidden. Leviticus 19:27 reads, let's actually go to it and we'll see what it says. Go Leviticus 19 and 27. And let's see what it says. King Kazak, you want to bring that out for me?
Con. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Right, the water. Ye shall not round the corners of your head. What that's talking about is a bald head. Okay, we have so many of our brothers and I didn't want to say sisters, but they do it too. So I mean, I guess I got to throw them in there also. We see a whole bunch of bald-headed sisters walking around all day long. But ye shall not round the corners of your heads, right? No bald heads. You can't go around looking like Michael Jordan. It's not happening. It's not gonna help you dunk from the free throw, from the free throw line. It's just not gonna happen. What it's gonna do is it's gonna get you in trouble with the Most High. That's what's gonna happen, right? Neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard, right? What that means, let's go into the Hebrew on that. Shall mar the corners of thy beard. What does that mean?
Strong's H 7843. Shacheth. Shacheth.
Right, and the definitions: to destroy, to corrupt, go to ruin. Right, that's cutting it off. Right, all these. I gotta keep my English correct here. All the vagina faces, right? That like walking around with clean Greek cuts. It's not. That's not approved of the Most High. Right? You need to have a beard on your face. If you don't want to have a long Moses beard or a long. Trying to think, which one of the prophets was it? Jeremiah? Hey, remind me, which was the one that had the beard all the way down to the floor?
Hey, Salakia, that's the spirit again, because let me bring this precept out right quick,
Hey,
and
bring
this
it
will
out.
answer all your questions, right? So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 2. And it is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirts of his garment.
There it is.
See that? If I could just expound on that, Moses' brother, the Levitical priest, the Bible says the brother's garment went all the way down to the bottom of his garment, man.
Mm-hmm.
His garment, I mean his beard almost touched the ground, basically. Like the brother was bringing out so powerfully earlier. Yeah, man, Israel, grow your beard out, man.
Mm-hmm.
In ancient days, and really today, man, a beard was a badge of honor, a badge of dignity. You know what I mean? Stop walking around here with the booty face, man. Stop walking around with the. If you look at all the ancient depictions, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the men, no matter what nation, for the most part, all the nations, heathen, Israelites, they all had mighty beards. They all had the big, the Assyrians, a lot of the nations. I mean, Egypt, they had the smooth face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And certain nations had the smooth face, but a lot of nations, they had the big, mighty beards. And then when you get to like Egypt, or if you like look at like sculptures of Alexander the Great, that's when you start seeing a lot of smooth faces. A lot of the heathen, some of the heathens would have the smooth face, but yeah, man, that's a mighty thing. That's a commandment. Grow out the mighty beard, Israel.
Mm-hmm. Con. Now look, let's take it even further, right? What happens? Let's go into 2 Samuel. We'll go to chapter 10 and we'll start at verse 5. And we'll see how important it is to have a beard, right? You don't want to have a long beard, cool. Have a short beard, a medium beard, as long as you have a beard, right? When you think about it, when you look at lions, right? How can you tell the male lion from the female lion, right? Because he has a mane, right? A mane, a powerful mane, right? You don't see him trimming up the mane and, getting a high and tight on that thing, or or shaving a mohawk into it. No, you don't see him doing that. Right? You see him rocking his beard. King Shapar, grab that for me. 2 Samuel 10, and we'll start at verse 3 and we'll go down to 5.
It's the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 3. And the princes of the children of Ammon said unto Hanan, their lord, thinkest thou that David doeth honor thy father, and that he sent comforters unto thee? Hath not David rather sent his servants unto thee to search the city and to spy it out and to overthrow it? Wherefore Hanun took David's servants and shaved off the one half of their beards and cut off their garments in the middle, even to their buttocks, and sent them away. Verse 5, when they told it unto David, he sent to them, because the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return.
Right. There you go. So, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory there, right? David sent some men out. Hey, they got busted, and as punishment, they shaved off the beards, right? And they cut their garments in half. And then, in verse 5, it says that they were greatly ashamed, right? It's a shame to not have your mane, right? It's a shame to not have what the Most High said to have, right? And we find a lot of our people do the same thing, right? They want to do the Michael Jordan look. They want to have the fresh face, the bald head. They want to, so, in essence, they're essentially committing two sins in one, right? But let's go into this 2 Samuel 10:5, and I want to go into that word grown, right? Tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown.
Strong's H, 6779. Samach. Samach.
And the definition, right? To sprout, to spring, to grow up, right? To bear, to bring forth, right? To grow, right? What did he say to them? Let's see it again. When they told it unto David, he sent to meet them because the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, this is King David, he said, wait at Jericho, tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. Right? So he said, just wait here, right? Until they come back in. Then when they come back in, you can come back and do your duty. Right? But that just shows you the importance of having a beard, right? You know, if it wasn't a commandment, I'm sure it wouldn't be important. But the Most High put it as a commandment on purpose for a reason, right? Let's see.
Hey, Salakia.
Hey, bring it out, King.
Even the ordinances for the priests in the book of Ezekiel, I got a precept. It's Ezekiel 44 and 19 down to 20. 19 reads, and when they go forth into the utter court, even into the utter court to the people, they shall put off their garments wherein they ministered and lay them in the holy chambers, and they shall put on other garments, and they shall not sanctify the people with their garments. Verse 20, neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only poll their heads. I yield on that. It was just bringing it out how important it was, even for the priests, to not shave, and they can't grow their locks too long, and different ordinances like that. I yield.
Right. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But look, even so, right? We have a mighty warrior named Samson. Right? Samson wasn't bald-headed. In fact, Samson was told not to shave his head. Let's go into that. I'm going to read it right here. We have Judges 13, and we'll start at verse 3. It says, and the angel of Yahweh appeared unto the woman and said unto her, behold, now thou art barren and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink. Hey, you show that to a Christian, they're going to say, oh, we can't drink no wine or strong drink. Sorry. And eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite unto God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. Right? So, there's always a thing, oh, well, you can't have long hair, this and that. It's bad for a man to have long hair. It's not bad for a man to have long hair, right? If you want to have long hair, hey, have long hair, right? You want to have short hair, that's cool too, right? Just don't go Michael Jordan, right? And then don't go Egypt on them, right? The Most High wants you to have hair on your head and hair on your face. It's pretty simple, right? Let's keep going. So let's see. We'll skip this one. This one's done. Eating pork. Oh boy. This one's going to be a fun one. And seafood and snails. Oh, we're going to hit 3 for 1. 3 for 1.
Hey, Salakia, it's almost like this article is talking to the so-called Christian who don't even know the laws. It's like letting you know, like, hey, man, this is some of the stuff you can't do, man. Like, we know you walk around and say y'all's Christians, but did you actually know this stuff was in the scriptures? You know what I'm saying?
And yet they ignore the scriptures, right? But then we're wrong when we bring it out to them, right?
Hey,
They don't want to hear it.
hey, that same brother I was talking to about the wine, when I told him about the Levitical dietary laws, he was like, "Yeah, I know about the pork and the shrimp, but guess what? I'm gonna eat whatever I want." And I looked at him. I said, "Brother, do you think Christ was walking around thinking like that? Do you think he ate whatever he wanted?" And he was like, "Nah, not really." And I just looked at him real funny, like, come on, man.
Yeah, it don't make no sense,
It
right?
don't
But
make
then
no
when you tell them
sense.
about it, they wanna argue with you and cuss you out, right? You just say you don't like cussing, but yet you cussing us out because we trying to tell you what God wants,
Right.
right? Let me get a Leviticus 11. King Kazak, grab me Deuteronomy 14 and 3. Baba Kasha.
So this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7. And it reads, "And the swine, though he divided the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you." Verse 8, "Of their flesh shall ye not eat,
Mm-hmm.
and their carcass shall ye not touch, they are unclean to you."
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9, "These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins and scales in the water, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the sea and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you."
Mm-hmm. Read 11, and that'll be it for that one.
Come, verse 11, "They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination."
Right. King Kazak, let me grab that Deuteronomy from you.
Khan. Salakia, verse 8.
We'll start at actually verse 3.
Khan. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, and verse 3. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing.
Boom. Now,
These
why
are
is
the
that so? Salaki, I'm sorry, King.
Khan.
Verse 3, like, thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. How hard is that to understand? Is that, am I mistranslating that? Am I misinterpreting that? I don't think that's uh, very hard to understand or hard to not understand. Salakia, right? We're gonna take it a step further. If you feel like you want to eat abominable things, we're gonna show you what the Lord got for you. All right, let's go to Isaiah 66 and we'll start at verse 15.
Come, the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 15. "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire." For verse 16, "For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many."
No, the ones that are gonna be getting hugs.
The slain of the Lord shall be many.
Right, read 17 and we're gonna finish it at that.
Come, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh and the
Mm-hmm.
abomination, the
Mm-hmm.
mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord.
So he made it a point, right? He made it a point to uh, bring out the animal plus the abomination, right? He could have just said anyone in behind one tree in the midst eating the abomination, the mouse, right? But instead he singled out swine's flesh, right? Our people love the pork.
Hey, Salakia, so Jake was eating mice back in the day?
Man,
Oh
this
my
this is future prophecy, right?
God.
So I'm sure Moab is gonna pull out some mouse stew somewhere or some mouse fried rice. right? But it's so crazy how he singled out swine's flesh, right? He could have said, he could have said, I don't know, no fish or scales, right? Anybody eating the fish and scales, right? But instead, he pointed out the swine's flesh, right? And the abomination is attached to that, right? And if you're clueless about what kind of animals you can or can't eat, you can always go to Deuteronomy 14, right? It'll give you an even more in-depth breakdown than Leviticus 11, right? It'll tell you, it'll say the ox, the sheep, the goat. It'll give you all of the animals that you can eat and all of the animals that you can't eat. It'll tell you what kind of things you should look for on the animal. And it's pretty detailed, right? The Most High don't play, so I kind of think that tackles those three, right? So we jump three ahead. Eating snails, we're not even getting into that one. Tattoos. We were all ignorant at once, right? We were ignorant before the Most High blessed us with this word, right? Leviticus 19, like it says, pretty self-explanatory. I agree with this. Actually, one thing I agree with from Esau, you shall not make. Let's see, 28. It says, "Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh." So no Pookie and Ray Ray 99. No Pookie and Ray Ray 2023. It ain't happening, right? If you want to be in with the Lord, you're gonna have to not do that, right? You want to tattoo something up, write on a book, or go draw on a pad somewhere, right? But putting it on your body, that ain't working. Let's keep going. Oh man, same-sex relationships. Should we really go into this, or I think so, I guess. Leviticus 18:22. It says, perhaps one of the most controversial parts of the Bible, both men and women are forbidden from having romantic relationships with the same sex. This is mentioned in Leviticus 18:22, which reads, let's pull it up. 18:22. And King Kazak, can you pull Leviticus 20 and 13? And we're going to keep it real short on this because there's not really much we can go into about this. Jake wants to live in that constant sin. This is a choice that the Lord has given you, right?
Hey, Salakia, now you see on the article it says perhaps one of the most controversial parts of the Bible. What's controversial about it? Like, come on, man. Like, who's writing these articles, man? Come on.
Right. Like,
didn't we just go over Adam and Eve and being effeminate and stuff like that? Like, come on, man. Even nature tells you that's a wrong thing, man. Come on.
Right. Let me get that Leviticus 18:22.
So this is the book of Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22, and it reads, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination."
Simple. It's abomination. And what we read in Isaiah 66 and 15, that he's going to come to deal with all this abomination. Let's do Leviticus 20 and 13.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
There you go. Their blood shall be on their hands, right? Let me get Genesis 19:5 and Judges 19:19. This is crazy that we even have to go into this.
Hey, Salakia. I know we're pressed for time a little bit, but we keep going over the word abomination. Can we just look that up just for the viewers' sake? Can we go
Hey,
into the
absolutely.
definition of that?
Absolutely. Let's go into that. Where are we at? Abomination. Abomination. Right there.
Strong's H 8441. To'eva. To'eva.
And look at it, look at the definitions, right? A disgusting thing. Right? Abomination, abominable. In ritual sense of unclean food, which would be pork, idols, mixed marriages. Right? That's when you have a Jake and an Edomite, right? Something disgusting morally, an abhorrence, especially idolatry, an idol. It just, I think it's pretty clear. What do you think, King Shapar?
I think it's on the money, All
right,
on the money.
Let's see. Where are we at? Genesis 19:5. Let's bring that one out.
So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him.
Oh, Salakia, this was actually, just to give a little bit of backstory, this was two angels came in and went into, Lot's house, and I guess they were having a conversation and stuff, and then people started banging on the door, right? Keep going, Salakia.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us that we may know them.
And if you don't know what knowing means, knowing is they wanted to, they wanted to smack some cheeks. Keep going, Salakia.
Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
Do not so wickedly. Salakia. Let me get Judges 19:19, and it's going to be a similar occurrence also.
It's the book of Judges, chapter 19, verse 19. Yet there is both straw and provender for our asses, and there is bread and wine also for me, and for thy handmaid, and for the young man which is with thy servants. There is no want of anything.
Salakia, let me just give a little backstory. It's pretty similar to what happened also in Lot's house, right? There was a young man. I think he had his concubine with him, and they went into this. They went into the house, right? And then keep going. It'll explain it.
Verse 20. And the old man said, peace be with thee. Howsoever, let all thy wants lie upon me, only lodge not in the street.
Mm-hmm.
So he brought him into his house and gave provender unto the asses. Wow. And they washed their feet and did eat and drink. Verse 22. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him. Verse 23. And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into mine house, do not this folly.
Keep going. Yeah.
Verse 24. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing.
So, Salaki, right there. So, like it says, the master of the house, he offered his own daughter, right, and the man's concubine to the men, right, just so that they won't do what they wanted to do to the man that was in his house. It just, I'm sure this stuff happens now. You know, it just, it is what it is, right? If we go to Romans 1:20, it'll pretty much explain why these things are occurring, right? It's a sad thing, you know, it really is. Let's see, let's get that Romans 1:20.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 20. And it reads, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse.
Salakia, let's skip down to 22.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 22. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
And this is what our people do on a daily basis, right? They think they're wise in their own eyes and in their own heart. But them professing themselves to be wise, in reality, they're fools, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 23. And change the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible men, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
Right.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lusts one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was met.
Which was me. Let's read this last verse, and man, this will explain everything.
Verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient.
And there you have it. Because of the fact that they chose not to seek after their creator, he gave them up to a reprobate mind. He said, you want to follow the life of a homo? I'm going to turn you into a homo. And I'm going to add on to you many more other curses, actual curses, right? And essentially that is going to be your downfall, right? All because you chose not to listen to your creator. I mean, I go ahead.
Hey, Salakia King, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry.
Man, you can see how wicked. You could see how wicked that spirit is, right? You like we're on Glenwood teaching, out in the park teaching, wherever, and we see our people all the time dealing with that spirit, man. That's a wicked spirit that's on our people. And just going back into that story with Lot, the Most High sent them death angels there, and even our forefather Abraham was praying for him. Like, man, if you can't just destroy the righteous with the wicked, right? But the Lord was like, man, I'm getting ready to destroy that place. He couldn't find righteous men in that town, and there it is. He sent the death angels to that city, and the men were so wicked. They seen men that they had not. Check it out. Like the men were so wicked, right? And it really talks about today. Like the men were so wicked. They seen men that they had never seen before, and they wanted to lay with them, not knowing that these are death angels coming to destroy the whole city.
Exactly.
And lots like, look, man, I give my daughters up to y'all. Like, like don't do this thing. And you see how the Most High had to deal with that. So yeah, man, that's a wicked spirit that's on our people. You know what I mean?
And Sodom and Gomorrah is no more. Just like this wicked ass country is gonna be no more. Right. But our job is to wake up our people.
And you see right now, with what's going on in today's time, America's pushing that spirit as hard as they possibly can.
Yep. They trying to make universities for pride universities and all this madness. It's truly if you would have told me this 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you at all.
Man, we just went to Washington D.C. last weekend,
Gosh.
and on the government buildings, man, we're talking about so-called government buildings, federal buildings. You got big pride flags, right? Rainbow flags, so-called transgender flags, right? I'm working in downtown Raleigh today, and you got on the light poles, they got flags on them that says "Come out" or "We're out." And got big flags on the pole, man. Like Satan is pushing this agenda right through Esau as hard as he possibly can, man.
I mean, like you can't make this thing up, and then they push it so hard in our people's faces, right? And now I'm sure I don't even need to look at any statistics, but I'm sure there's some kind of statistic out there that says probably one in six, 1 in 6 kids now identify as a trans kid. Come on, man, really? You don't even know how to wipe your ass, but yeah, you telling me what kind of sexual things you're into?
Hey, Salakia, for the brothers that got a little bit of age on them, maybe in their 30s or 40s, if you would have told brothers that in the 90s, right, or in the early 2000s, if you would have told brothers that there's going to come a time where they're pushing this on your children, brothers would have been like, no damn way. There ain't no way.
Hey, that's right, Shapar. Like I would have never saw this.
Never believed it. Be honest, right? You would never believed it back in the day when you were 14, 15, 20, whatever. You would have never thought in your mind that, all right, there's going to be a day where they're pushing this vibration on our children, right? But you see how the devil works, right?
Right. And it's like, like we say it all the time, we cannot make this up. This is what they are pushing, right? And I just saw also today another article saying that they're trying to figure out how to make inclusivity acceptable in the Roman Catholic Church. I mean, if that doesn't get any more evil, I just don't know. I don't.
We was watching a YouTube video before I got on, and my kids, man, I had to tell my kids to turn it because they were watching a YouTube video, and it had like a bunch of rainbow colored cars that was like racing on a racetrack, and I'm like, man, look at that! They're trying to push it into cartoons these days, man.
And you know what that entails,
right? That was that inclusively including everybody, allowing the kids to, teaching the kids to be homosexuals, man.
Right. So, let's see what this next topic is. It's funny because we had two slides dedicated just to homos. Women looking too nice. I mean, like, do we really need to go into this? Um, 1 Timothy 2:9, right? Let's bring that out real quick. 1 Timothy 2:9, and I think this will probably be the last slide. I think we're gonna have to save this for a part 2.
God, this is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and
Mm-hmm.
sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works.
Now, here's a question: do you think the Nicki Minaj's? Do you think the Cardi B's? Do you think the new one, the Suki Hana? Do you think these are women that are professing godliness?
Wow.
Mm-mm-mm. What about you, King Kazak? I already know your answer, but
La to the ah.
Yeah. These are the exact opposite of godly women, right? A woman should be covering herself in modesty, right? And that's all around. That's her personality, that's her physical appearance, right? Nobody wants to see your boobs or your butt crack walking down Glenwood. Nobody wants to see that, right? And the fact that a person would even think about showing that just shows how the level of morality has gone down in this world, right? I mean, we just got off of talking about the fruity booties, right? But to take it to another level, our women, right? Our women are literally acting like whores, right? And they call it the independent woman movement, right? I could do what I want. It's my body. Nah, that body don't belong to you. That body belongs to Yahweh, right? It's
Yeah, we
not yours.
yeah, Salakia, we say it all the time, man. If it gets any worse out here for some of our women who don't know they're Israelites and don't dress so-called modest, right? For our women, man, that aren't in this truth, right? I don't know how much worse it can be, man, because like when we're out here teaching, man, our women are damn near naked, man. You know what I mean? If it gets any worse, man, I don't know. They're already walking around like in swimming suits
Mm-hmm.
and outfits, man, that are just basically just ungodly, man, and showing their whole body off. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, pretty soon we're gonna have to do like the brother Shuv says. We're gonna have to have fringes on our eyeballs
Man,
because it's like we're gonna have to start acting like Ray Charles out there, like
A
Stevie
Salakia.
Wonder.
A Salakia. And the thing about it is, that's how you know the spirit is heavy, man, because when you think about what Yahweh Shai said, like if you even look on a woman, you commit adultery. So they're out there wearing nothing and causing the brothers to commit adultery.
damn.
So it's
And,
like it's twofold right there. Like they're committing sin, not being modest, and then causing the brothers to look on them in a lustful heart, man. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Right,
pretty heavy, man.
right.
yeah, they're not.
That's Matthew 5:28.
They're not making it easy on men, you know what I mean? And like
Mm-mm.
Mahar was bringing out, if women are really out there looking for husbands, the last thing you want to do is show off all your complete body to men that you're trying to so-called court to be husbands. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of doing in their actions, they're kind of saying in their actions what they want to do, right? Because a woman looking for a husband, she's not going to dress like that. A woman looking for a good time and some fun, that's how they're going to dress. You know what I mean? I'm just out
God.
here to flaunt myself. I'm just out here for some good time that one night, and I'm just out here for a good time. You know what I mean? our sisters that walk around in modest apparel, you know what I mean? That's a royal look, you know what I mean? That's a look of a princess, you know what I mean? For us that got daughters and children, man, you know, we ain't gonna let our daughters and our children, man, just walk around with anything, you know what I mean? So our people got to get back to these commandments and these laws and statutes.
Hey, the mighty young lion, Yashuan Ben Oxy, he brings out the precept Amos 7:17. Let's bring it out.
All praises. So this is the book of Amos, chapter 7, verse 17. And it reads, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land. Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land."
I mean, I haven't read a lie out of that entire verse, right? Thy wife shall be an harlot in the city. How many of our brothers and sisters have harlots for wives, right? They think they have a faithful woman, right? But behind the scenes, right, when she goes to her job or when she goes somewhere else, she meeting up with, with some dude, right? And they hitting up the hotel or something, or they doing a whole bunch of fornication, right? Thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword. There was just, we just Juneteenth weekend just finished, right? And there was at least 70 people shot, which is madness. That's like a bare minimum now in Chicago, and I think if I remember correctly, they said a 5-year-old got shot also and died, but that's a perfect example. Yeah, thy land shall be divided by line. I mean, we do have state lines for a reason, right? Salakia, were you going to say something, King?
No, I was just my bad. I was just going to say, when you were bringing out recent events and current topics and current events, I was going to bring out all the killing that had happened this weekend. And yeah, man, like we say all the time, man, it looks like it's going to be a crazy summer, man. Like that death angel's floating around. You know what I mean?
And then all this is being done by the Most High, right? You go into Isaiah 45, he tells you, he says, I create the evil, right? It's, I mean, if people don't understand who their God is, how are they going to understand who to serve, right? If they keep believing this weak, effeminate Jesus Christ that they be trying to portray in the churches, right? To love everybody, hugs and kisses, balloon animals, floating in the sky type stuff. It just, our people will never understand who they really serve, right? And they won't make it a priority to serve our Heavenly Father.
Hey, also too, like backing up what you were saying earlier, I think it was last week or the week before last, that one of the captains had posted a video off of TikTok, and it was about a pastor or a preacher. The brother was like, he must have been tracking what his wife was doing or whatever, because he pulls up to the hotel, and his wife was going in there to meet the pastor or the preacher to their church. And they were playing it off like she was going to get counsel, but why would you be going to a hotel to get counsel?
Oh, she was going to get counseled, all right.
Right, and then they got alcohol there, and that's wicked, man. Like, how you gonna be a leader of a congregation, but you're plotting on plotting on the next man's wife, man? That's wicked, man. That's why that Jeremiah 23:1 is so strong, man. They're dividing the flock, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Wicked, man.
Absolutely. Oh, let's see. Okay, last one. Let's see. Torn jeans. What the hell? What the hell? Yes, according to the Bible, you should not wear these. Leviticus 10:6, we're going to read in a second, reads, "Do not tear your clothes or you will die, and the Lord will be angry with the whole community." Okay. Yet again, you know, let's bring it out. Leviticus 10 and verse 6, is it? Wait, where to go? And verse 6. Let's bring it out.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 10, verse 6, and it reads, "And Moses said unto Aaron and to
Eleazar?
Eleazar, unto Ithamar, his sons, uncover not your heads, neither rend your clothes, lest ye die, and lest wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which the Lord hath kindled."
Hey, you could stop right there, Salakia. So, right off the bat, right, this article is retarded. Okay, we already knew it was retarded, but it just entered an extra level of retardation, right? This is a conversation between Moses and Aaron, Eleazar, and Ithamar, right? These are the priests of the Most High, right? These are Levites, okay? And what it's talking about them being in the tabernacle, right? Don't uncover your heads. Don't rend your clothes, lest ye die. Where in any of this does it have anything to do with what this article is talking about? That thing says, yes, according to the Bible, you should not wear these. It says nothing at all about torn jeans there.
That's took out of context a little bit, right?
That isn't even in a context. I don't even know what it is.
Come.
Right. But yeah, they bugged the hell out. But what we're gonna do, actually, we're gonna go ahead and stop it here, right? And Lord willing, I can do a part 2 on this, right? I'll go more in depth on a few other things. I'll bring out a few extra examples of how this article is going off. I just want to say shalom to the family, the water for the water to you brothers for coming out and helping with this lesson is greatly appreciated, you know. And shalom to the nation of Israel. What can we say? We're trying to wake up our people, right? By any means necessary, by hook or by crook, like they say, right? But this is your brother Mahar. We're gonna go around, everybody gonna do their thing, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Hey, this your brother Shapar the Gadite.
Khan, this your brother Kazak.
Khan. And we got the mighty Captain Ra'am. He's in the backdrop. We are Yahweh's camp, and we are here to do the Most High's will, whatever that may look like. So we want to say Kwam Yasharala to the nation. We want to say Shalom to the brothers and sisters that are tuning in. We appreciate you. And what can I say? Have a good night. We out.